Hey guys, welcome to my live. I am Coach Zo. This is the ZoShow Live, brought to you by Distal Point Tumbling. Distal Point Tumbling, we have the expertise. We have, oh, that's my microphone. I'm like, what am I looking at? We have the expertise. We have the equipment. Let Distal Point Tumbling come to you anywhere in Kansas. Now, I am super ready for today's episode. Me and my son just finished a live stream where we did a lemonade sour challenge. And I was just going to spend some time before the live at 9 o'clock just talking about kind of the pre-talk before the live, right? Like the prequel, the preface. So we're talking about stunting with people who, or a team that can stunt. When I got into cheerleading, I had a, most cheer coaches in college are cheer and dance coaches. That's how the gig comes. That's how they sell it. In the eyes of the administration, is one sport. They don't care how you market it. If you put whatever, they think it's one sport. And so my first cheer coach was a dancer. She was a dance coach. And my second cheer coach was a dance coach. And so they didn't really have a lot to offer in the cheer department. As far as cheer specific, right? I think if you're a coach, my ego will tell me that whether I'm coaching football, basketball, lacrosse, cheer, dance, there's a minimum standard and quality that I'm going to provide just because I know how to lead people, right? And so my coaches in college were just fine coaches. They just didn't know cheer specific things. So that really was only a problem when it came to cheer specific issues like stunting, right? And so because they didn't know how to, I need to stop fidgeting. That's probably messing everything up. Because they didn't know how to coach stunts and how to progress us in stunts, we were kind of left on our own to figure that out. And we got creative. We got creative because we liked stunting. We liked partner stunting. I think we definitely had designated partners, right? I told you about my partner Sabrina. But we just couldn't do the things that were upper level. We couldn't should I connect to Wi-Fi? I'm not gonna connect to Wi-Fi. We couldn't toss extension. We couldn't toss lib. We couldn't full up. We couldn't rewind. We couldn't front handspring up. So because we couldn't do those things, hey, thank you. We're a little early. We're not into the game yet. I'm just kind of giving the preface. But because we were not good, we had to get creative with the things that we could do, right? So we knew how to do like a walk-up hands. Every man on the team and their partner, every stunt group had walk-up hands. And so Michael Terry and Kenzie, they freaked it, right? What Kenzie would do is she would do a walk up with the opposite leg, right? Put her left foot in. They would dip, and then you know how you have the stair stepper in a group stunt where they go to prep, then the main base goes up to extension, then the side base goes up to extension, right? They would do that same stair step, but walk up. And so now it's a mountain climber, right? She would go in left footed, dip, put her right foot on the shoulder. I think they even went so far to where they would dip and she would switch feet, put her right foot back on, and that left foot on the shoulder, then dip, then go to hands. Why? Well, because we couldn't do anything past that. We couldn't do anything more than a walkover, so we needed to figure out, or a walkover. We couldn't do anything more than a walk up, so we needed to figure out what we can do with what we can do, right? What other skills? There are just so many skills that we figured out, put together because of our limitations. And the thing you have to remember if you're like a classically trained cheerleader, and we're going to talk about this more, but the thing you have to remember is if all you've ever had is structure, you're not gonna know how to organize the chaos. Well, that's not true. That's not true. You will know how to organize the chaos because you've had a coach, but you're not gonna know how to progress, right? If you come into, like, a lot of us are naturally talented at cheer. We just are. Like, we just walked into practice one day and we rocked it and we never left. But we don't always have the luxury of coaching those athletes. Sometimes we have athletes that are just not good at it. They don't understand rhythm. They don't understand timing. They don't have technique. All of that just eludes them, right? But we have to meet them where they are. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing you have to remember is, like, you know cheer, they don't. So don't try to think of, like, what got you there, right? Because that doesn't exist yet. If you when I first started coaching, when I first started tumbling, I thought the only two skills, like the first skill to learn as a tumbler to me was a back handspring. Like, there was handstand, there was cartwheel, and then back handspring. And then after back handspring was back tuck. I skipped back tuck because I was a boy. Or I skipped back handspring because I was a boy, started doing back tucks, and then I came back to back handsprings. Like, that's just what I thought. And then I became a tumbling instructor and realized, oh, wow, there was a whole gap of information that was missing, right? It's the same thing when it comes to stunting. There's going to be a whole gap of information that is missing. And instead of fighting that, instead of being perturbed by it, accept it, embrace it, utilize what you do have. One of the things that the devil is best at is having you focus on lack when you live in a world of abundance, right? Like, there's no shortage. There's no shortage of anything. The only thing that we have a shortage of is imagination and ideas. And if we focus on what we don't have, we're never going to have. But if you focus on what you do have, then you can create more of that, right? And so, be creative. Guys, I had a blast yesterday. What I'm about to say is not an ad, but I went to Sterling College. They had an open gym, and I took one of my old cheerleaders. I coached her like 4 or 5 years ago, but her mom hit me up out of the blue the other day and was like, yo, I heard you was having stunt clinics. Like, when's your next one? And I'm doing this thing where, like, I'm trying to tell the truth. And not that I'm like a liar, but sometimes I don't like to disappoint people, right? And I was like, yo, I wasn't planning on having any more stunt clinics. I just wasn't. I need to focus on speaking slower too. I wasn't going to have any more stunt clinics, and I don't think I'm going to have any more clinics because the turnout has not paid for itself. It hasn't been worthwhile. And I don't like using the word worthwhile, because if I get to help one person, then that's awesome. But in the real world, I have kids. I have a mortgage, and trying to justify driving an hour to coach 3 or 4 people on a clinic that I think is absolutely imperative, I think is so necessary, is just not, I can't justify that. I can't justify that as a business person. I can't justify that as a father. I can't justify that as a husband. And so I am not having any more clinics. But anyway, I'm going to try this on Wi-Fi because something be coming up on the bottom, and that'd be stressing me out a little bit. So oh, the Wi-Fi is on? Wow, the Wi-Fi is on and it's still acting like that? Brand new. Okay. Cool. So, hey, welcome. We're about to get started, but I'm just going to tell the story until 9 o'clock, and then we'll go live talking about stunts. But so I went to Sterling College yesterday with one of my old athletes because her mom messaged me, and I told her I'm not doing any more clinics. And then it hit me like, yo, I'm going to this open gym on Friday. If she wants to come through, come through. And her mom was like, yo, she would love that, but her friend is supposed to come hang out that day too. Can her friend come? I don't care. Like, I'm finna be stunting anyway. I have room in my car. It's all good. Yo, we went down there, and first of all, I always think I'm gonna be low key. Everywhere I go, I always tell myself, Lorenzo, don't take up too much energy. Don't take up too much space. Don't be so big. Like, let people shine. It's not your moment. Everything doesn't have to be about you. I swear. I swear. I tell myself, that's my mantra before I go somewhere in public, because I do. I take up a lot of energy. I'm bright. I just be loud. I be loud. I am just loud, right? But we got there, and not only am I loud, everybody was quiet and shy, and it's like, this is not cheerleading. This is not what cheer is for. Like, let's go. Like, we have, like, this is cheer, right? So now I'm in there. We're warming up with tumbling, which is cool. I didn't really want to warm up, but I did come to stunt. I did come to participate and engage. And so I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it wholeheartedly. Like, I can't just stunt because I feel like it and then not warm up when they asked us to warm up. So I'm warming up my tumbling, and what's up, Ashley? I'm warming up my tumbling, and it looked good. I ain't gonna front, it looked good, but I literally spent every day of my week, you know, teaching how to do handstands, and I'm demonstrating every day, and I'm teaching how to do cartwheels, and I'm demonstrating every day. And they get to, like, that was the warm up, and then they're like, all right, you can throw your tumbling passes. Those kids in there don't know me. Coach knows me, right? Coach knows me, but those kids in there don't know me. And they're like, yo, you look like a pro. Like, go tumble. I was like, little girl, little girl, little girl. I'm retired. I'm retired. I'm retired. Right? But even at the warm-ups, I was taking up so much energy. I was being so much. But whatever. Like, I told the girls in the car, like, I'm finna have fun no matter where I go. I'm finna have fun at the stunt clinic. I'm finna just do it because I love cheer. Like, I love this. I love this. I love being in it. I love seeing an athlete get a new skill, and I love throwing stunts. I love stunting personally, right? So we're there, and we finish our warm up, and coach is like, all right, only thing I ask is that you have a spot. Besides that, everybody said go. Everybody just looked at each other. I'm like, ain't no way. There's 25, 30 of us in here. Ain't no way we finna do this all day. I didn't come down here for this. It's an hour and a half drive. Nah. Anybody want to toss hands? I'm right here. Let's go. I said it just like that. Everybody was looking like, nah, that's him. He's crazy. What's going on? And then somebody came up. I was like, yo, I'll do it. Pow. Toss hands. She's like, I've never done this before. I said, all right, hey, here's what you're going to do. You're going to jump really hard and stay really tight. There's like, that's it. I said, pow. Boom. Hit that. Everybody's looking at me. Come on, you know what time. I'm gonna hit this. Boom, pop it off. And so I just started stunting, and I'm not only am I killing it, like, personally, like, oh, this feels smooth. I know I'm a little old, but my elbows moving the right way. My knees are doing what they're supposed to do. But I'm realizing, like, no one else is stunting like this. And there were so many men there. Oh my gosh, there were so many men. I think there was like 8 or 9 men there, and only one other dude was really trying to stunt. Every other guy there was like shy and didn't know how to talk and didn't, like, they don't even know what they missed out on. Like, had they been anywhere else, a girl would have forced them, the flyer would have forced themselves in the air by means of the man. Like, that's how flyers get when they're around boys, because there's just not. And there was 10 of them in there just standing around. I wasn't going to do it. I drove an hour and a half. So we're stunting. They have this girl. They have this girl at Sterling named Morgan. Morgan is a beast because she is built like a side base. Barely though, right? Like, she's tall enough and she has the frame, but like barely. So she's actually a flyer. She is so cold. Like, I like to stunt. I love stunting, but I wouldn't say I'm good at partner stunting, right? I said, yo, Morgan. I saw her do a what did I see her do? I said, yo, let's toss hands. So we tossed hands. It was as easy as I thought it was going to be. And then she went to the group and she did a lib. And I was like, yo, I want to do that. She's like, oh, okay, I'll get a group. I said, no, I want to do that with me and you. She's like, wait, you want to do that with just us two? I said, yeah. She's like, explain it. I said, okay, bet. You're going to jump and you're going to pull your lip. She's like, but what about? I said, jump and pull your lip. Tippy toe, beautiful, excellent. She's like, oh, you doing stuff. I'm like, girl, I'm trying to do stuff. I came here. Do you want to do stuff? She's like, yeah, I'm doing stuff. Come back, right? So she goes over there, and again, I thought I was gonna chill, but I'm not a chill person. I need to stop saying I'm gonna chill because it's never happening, right? So I thought I was gonna chill, but then like my adrenaline started flowing. I had a great time. That group took Morgan to fly, and they did a full up. I was like, yo, Morgan, come here. I want to do that. You want to do a full up by yourself with just you and me? I've never even thought of that. I said, I know, it's cool. It's fine. Just jump. Just jump at the last second. Flick a little bit. She's like, that's it? I said, girl, I promise I got you. Boom. When I tell you we hit smooth, pow, pow, tippy tow, pop. What? First of all, I haven't hit that stunt in 2 years. I haven't hit a full up in 2 years, right? Like, I'm telling you, I like to partner stunt, but I'm not necessarily like that guy when it comes to coaching. I'll coach partner stunts all day, but throwing, right? So now she's hyped because she's doing things she ain't never done. The room don't know what's going on because everybody else is not doing that, right? No disrespect. There was high schoolers there. They were trying to figure out how to do preps and how to do all these different... I didn't come for none of that. I didn't come for none of that. I wanted a partner stunt. I wanted to show out. So while me and Morgan are doing this, Maddie and her friend JoJo, those aren't real names. Yeah, that's cool. Maddie and JoJo, I forgot that they were kids. And what I mean is like, sometimes I forget like, yo, this stuff is intimidating. And they're in middle school. They were 7th and 8th grade. This is a open gym for like seniors in high school. So they were being timid about like stunting and asking people to do stuff. And I wasn't going to let them, fail. I told them on the way down, like, yo, I don't think you guys should ever touch the floor. You guys are in middle school. Like, you guys are super light. Everybody should have a blast stunting you guys. But I forgot, like, hey, we've never been in this position. We don't want to just tell people what to do with us. So then I started stunting them. I'm like, hey, toss hands. Maddie's like, coach, toss hands. I've never partnered. Girl, cut it out. Toss hands. Pow. We hit that. She's like, oh, that's cool. Her friend JoJo was like, I can't. Girl, come here. Boom. Toss hands. So now they're feeling more confident. Like, yo, I've never done this before, Zo. That was so much fun. Girl, yes. Look, a room. Go find somebody and go do that. And so then also, I am 34 years old, which is not old. But if you ever cheered, you're a great grandfather. And so I couldn't breathe. I would throw like 2 stunts. So whenever I was like, trying to catch my breath, I would walk around and figure out what Maddie and JoJo could do. And they did so many great things. They did partner preps. They did they did group preps, group cradles. They worked on group extensions. They tried an inversion. These girls are in 8th and 7th grade. Praise the Lord, right? But it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun, like, being out there. It's so much fun doing it. Like, I never question if I'm in my passion, right? Like, I never question that because every time I step on a mat, whether I'm the athlete, whether I'm the coach, I actually don't like watching. I don't like watching cheerleading. I don't enjoy that because then I just start nitpicking and it takes the fun out of it. But when I'm like coaching or participating in it, man, it's just the life. And I was really excited. I thought I was gonna take like video. I thought I was gonna be making an instructional video on, you know, how to do a full up or how to do whatever. I didn't think there was gonna be that many people there, but that's okay. Like, I didn't make those videos, but I had such a great time. And then I couldn't find anything. I try not to talk. I try not to talk when I have athletes in the car because I like to swear a lot, but also because when I get tired, I just like let it all go. I just like, and I be harsh and I just forget. I don't have like my coaching parenting hat on. So I just be quiet. But so we was quiet on the way down. We played Taylor Swift, you know, chilled or whatever. But then on the way back, I forgot what happened, but we started talking about my family, and then I could not shut up because the girls were just dying. Thank the Lord for young girls, dog. Like, I know that sounded a little crazy, but like y'all laugh at everything. At 7, 8, you can make a 12-year-old laugh about anything. I mean, they got a friend. Oh my goodness, I seemed like I was Eddie Murphy out there. I was telling them how I got 5 sisters. 4 of them is named Laura, but that's not even the craziest part because that's my grandmother's name. So guess what? She got 22 grandchildren named Laura, and like every time I just started talking like they were dying, and we just had a great time coming back, and it was just nice to like. So like Maddie, she was my athlete before, but I haven't coached her in over 4 years, and you know she was able to have this experience, get some stunt experience, and just like have a good time with a coach and build like a good memory with cheerleading and a cheer coach. And then JoJo, this girl I don't know off the street, never met her before, but that's Maddie's friend, come through, and she gets to again learn about cheerleading in a way that's, I mean, it's not that 7th and 8th graders don't have this opportunity. It's that 7th and 8th graders don't know about these opportunities. Like I said, one of the greatest things that the devil has ever done is just have us focus on lack instead of abundance. If I look at my phone, I can let you know there are 25 open gyms this weekend, right? 25 open gyms this weekend that every college team would be happy to have them on, but because they don't know about it, they don't go to them, and then they don't have those experiences. So it was just nice to be that bridge for like the things that they love and the things that, you know, an opportunity that they had to put that together. That was cool. And then it was just cool to like build a relationship. So now JoJo, whenever she thinks about Coach Zoe, she's like, yo, Coach Zoe, he's an amazing. I tried not to say this, but I'm going to say it now. We stopped at Slim Chickens in McPherson, and we was just talking about how the stunt clinic went. And she was like, yo, you were the best person there. Gassed me right up. Gassed my 35-year-old self right up, right? And I was like, yeah, I was. She's like, no, easy, right? Like, so like that was really cool. But now it's like every time she thinks of Coach Zoe, she's like, yo, not only is he a really good cheerleader, but on the way down, I made them listen with me to the live that I had earlier, because I listened back to these things to make sure I can sound less dumb in the next one, right? And I told him that I was like, it sounds crazy, and I do hate the sound of my voice, but I want to get better at these. And so she heard me talk about whatever yesterday's live was about. I don't even remember anymore. But and she's like, oh man, like you're really inspirational, coach. So like now she thinks about me, and she's like, he's a great cheerleader. He really loves coaching cheer. And like she got all of that in like 4-hour span, 6-hour span. And what a blessing it is to be able to be of service like that, right? Like, man, that was fire. Ooh, it's 9 o'clock, official start time. Welcome to the ZoShow Live, brought to you by Distal Point Tumbling. I am your host, Coach Zoe, and today we're going to talk about stunting, okay? Stunting's a lot of fun, but it's not fun when you don't have people who can actually do it. So how do we figure out what are the things we can do with stunt teams and stunt groups that are less than ideal, right? If you were a if you were a talented cheerleader in your day, or walked into having a talented team, and now 2 or 3 years later, you're on a team and no one can stunt, how do we figure that out? How do we fix that? Oh wait. You should know better than thinking that. I'm not sure what I should know better than thinking, but I will remember. Oh, that I was going to be chill? For sure. For sure. I knew I was. You're right. I was never going to be chill. You're right, Ashley. All right. So 5 things to do to stunt with teams that can't stunt, to get better at stunting, and to not feel so bad about stunting. Number 1, we got to think laterally. Okay. Number 2, you need to go into another world. Okay. You need to take the Aladdin method. Number 3, you want to take 2 unrelated, simpler skills and combine them. Number 4, use a group to support the other group. And number 5, the most obvious one, but I struggle with, ask for help. Yay! Right? Ask for help. So let's start with number 1. Think laterally. What does that mean? Okay, so if you were in the pre-live, think laterally is like take the skills that you can do, take the skills that you're good at, and then figure everything out on that level. So what am I saying? Like when we as coaches, we always want to get better, right? We're always trying to go this way. This is vertical. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step. That's vertical. Steps imply verticality. But if you're in the first grade, you do first grade math and you do all things that have to do with first grade math and you get really good at it. And you do first grade reading and you do all the things that are in first grade reading and you get really good at that. You're not in the first grade and you're like, okay, I did all my first grade addition. Let me do second grade addition. I do all my second grade addition. Let me do fourth. Like, you don't do that. But in coaching and in sports, we always want to go vertically, go lateral. So how do we go lateral? Cool. Let's talk about like a prep. Let's say you can only do a prep. Well, a prep is still pretty high off the floor and you can still get a lot done. What is one thing that we can do? Cool. So have that flyer set in a lunge behind the group, right? So base here, side base here, flyer back here. Back spot to the side. Have the flyer put her hands in where the feet should be and go into a handstand. Okay? She can go into a handstand and from there, her legs can do whatever you want them to do. If you want them to be in a lib, right? Be in a lib and then do a little 360. Do a 360. Or they can be in a straddle, right? And now the back spot is holding those hips up. The legs are in a straddle. The bases are holding the hands. And again, we're just going to do a 360. It's a high school game. The crowd doesn't necessarily know what's hard and what's not. All they see is a girl inverted, or, let's say you have 20 of them, 5 girls inverted in a straddle doing a 360. That's exciting. That's exciting, guys. Like, I trust you. Trust me, it is. The crowd will love that, right? So we got to go lateral. Stop thinking so much of like, okay, well, how are we going to ever do our heel stretch double downs if we can't do a prep? Whoa. Go lateral, okay? So we have a prep. We can do things that are inverted at a prep, right? Or thank you, Ashley. Or that was the one I wrote down, but let's keep thinking. Swedish falls. The Swedish fall, I know in college we're used to seeing them in pyramids, but that's a prep level skill, okay? You have the base here. I think this is the side base, main base, back spot. I actually can't think of where they go, right? But put the flyer up and have her do a Swedish falls. And we can do it here, or we can even, probably keep it here. If we can't stunt, let's keep it down here, right? Oh, there we go. If you know what, I'm going to use my light. If this is the main base, I'm the flyer. I'm going to jump on, okay? The shoulders, back spot's going to be right here, lifting me up. Side base is going to have the leg drive up. And now the flyer is in a little Swedish falls position, right? That's all prep level. And then guess what? If you have 5, let's say you have 4 of those, because this is easier. Well, let's say we have 5. This is super cute, right? So we have 5. We have 1 in the middle. And then we just build out. Okay, so the can I give them numbers? The one all the way on the far outside, that's number 1. Coming in is 2. The middle is 3, 4, 5. Cool. Here we go. Now, 4 and 5, they're going to go up into the Swedish. And then they're just going to switch. Whoop. 1 and 2 are going to switch. Whoop. And then the one in the middle is just going to rotate. That's cute. And guess what? That's not hard. It's not hard. You put up the Swedish, you do that. And the crowd, again, is going to love that. And it doesn't. And the athletes can be proud of themselves because they're doing something that people can be proud of. The only people who are experts in cheer is you, the coach. And the only people who know about cheer is the coach and the team. So remember that. You are the expert. I had an argument Thursday with one of my cheerleaders. I had an argument with her in tumbling, and then I had the same argument with her in cheerleading. In tumbling, I said, hey, stand on this springboard and do a back tuck. She said, Coach, I don't have the talent to do that. I don't think that. And I said, that's interesting. How did you come to that conclusion? Were you prescribed by a professional? Did someone who was a professional at tumbling tell you that you didn't have the talent for that? She said, no. I said, oh, how did you do that then? She said, well, that's what I think. I said, oh, are you a professional in tumbling? Well, no. Are there any professionals here? She's like, you. And I was like, oh, okay, what do I think? She's like, I think you think that I can do it. I said, oh, okay. So maybe just try it. Guess what? She did it. It was great. We went back to cheer practice, and I told her to do a T-jump back handspring. And she's like, I don't have the power to come off the ground and do a back handspring. I said, oh. And then I have a coach in cheer. I was like, did Coach Abby tell you didn't have the power to do that? She's like, no. I was like, oh, was there another cheer professional who told you you didn't have the power to do that? She's like, no. And I was like, oh, so you came to that conclusion on your own? She's like, yeah. I was like, what happened the last time you did that? Oh, I should go do it. Yeah, go do it, right? Remember, you are the expert. Don't let these girls bully you. Don't know. You know, make it happen, right? If you say it's cute, it's cute. And if you say it's not cute, they're going to listen to that too, right? But don't let them bully you. So, if you are stunting with a group of people who cannot stunt, the first thing you want to do is think laterally. Number 2, go take the Aladdin method, okay? Go into a whole new world. Please. Like a solution, a problem cannot be solved with the same frame of mind that it was caused in. You can't do it. So you're stuck in your cheer brain talking about how can we get better at this and get better at that, but that you need an outside cheer solution. Okay? So what are some places where you can get ideas to stunt that isn't cheer? Great question. Swing dancing. Okay? Swing dancers do a lot of acrobatics. And guess what? Those guys are not like super tough. They're not super strong. It's just like regular men who just use momentum and mechanics in a way that they can put it to a beat. So watch different swing dancers and you'll be able to take different ideas. The one that I like the most is where the bass takes the dancer and they'll go hip, hip, and then they'll throw the girl up. She'll go up, inverted into a straddle, and then they'll slow her down and bring her to her feet. I love that, right? But they do a bunch of other things. They do what's called a Texas twister. First of all, don't judge me. I am an amazing coach. I still don't know how to do that, right? But somehow they'll dip and the flyer's belly will like be on the back of the base. They'll spin on their belly and then come back, catch, set them down. I don't know how to do it. It's not difficult. I cannot conceptualize it. But that's super cute and it's not hard. It's not hard, right? But if you're just thinking in your cheer brain, you're not going to get it. Go outside. Okay, swing dancing. That's a little bit of a reach, Lorenzo, but okay, cool. What else can we do? Well, there's acrobatic gymnastics, okay? Most of us are used to seeing rhythmic gymnastics where the girls are doing floor, beam, bar, or vault. But in rhythmic gymnastics, there's a group of 3 to 4 girls, and all they do is put up weird stunts. They like lean back on each other and stand up and hit all kinds of poses. And they start somewhere, right? So don't go to Olympic rhythmic gymnastics, but I'm sure there's a collegiate rhythmic gymnastics. And maybe there's even AAU rhythmic gymnastics where they're not doing such complicated skills where we can borrow from. We can look at it and say, oh, okay. Oh, she's kind of built like Sarah. And oh, she's kind of built like Susie. And oh, okay. She looks like Colleen. So if I grab Colleen, Susie, and Sarah and have them do this thing right here, then we can put it up. We can conceptually put it up. And if they only did it with 3 and we have 12, that means we have 4 groups to do that with. Look, but you have to go outside of cheerleading. You can't be in your cheerleading brain because your cheerleading brain is telling you this team can't do anything. And that's not true. Again, the only thing that we have a shortage of is imagination and creativity. Okay, you don't have a shortage of strength. You don't have a shortage of muscle. You don't have a shortage of coordination. That's not the shortage. The shortage is the ideas that you can come up with in your brain. Relax. Take a second, go out and see what else there is to see. So I have a few other places to look though. When we're talking about a whole new world, I also want you to think about, I lost it, guys. I wrote it down. Whole new world. Oh, Cirque du Soleil. Oh, and stunt. Okay. So Cirque du Soleil, the traveling circus that also has like a play in it. It's kind of similar to rhythmic acrobatics, but then stunt the sport, right? Stunt was made out of cheerleading, but they also recruit rhythmic gymnasts, and so they have their own blend of skills that they put up, acrobatics that they put up. Watch those teams, watch those routines, and see what they're putting up, right? If you were to tell me 4 years ago that two people the same size could toss hands, I would tell you that's ridiculous. This is not happening. Don't do it. Somebody's going to get hurt. Now, in stunt the sport, all the girls are the same size, and one of them is tossing another one into hands. They all do it, right? Because they don't have those limitations. So sometimes you just have to see somebody else do something for you to be like, oh, girl, that's possible? Girl, that's a thing? Oh, I got called back. That we left the open gym yesterday, and JoJo was like, I didn't know I was so good at partner stunning. I've never done it before. I didn't think I'd be good at it. And I said, listen, the world, I think personally, the world will be better off if everyone had more ego. JoJo, there are people who do stuff. They do it. They're not better than you. They're not smarter than you. They're not anything more than you. But they do it. So if you see that something is possible, then it's also possible for you to do it, right? Don't think because this person is whatever that they're doing something that you can't do. No, if it exists, it exists for you too. And she was like, you know what, coach? I think you're right. I think you're right. So I'm gonna start partner studying more, right? And amazing, what a blessing. Like, yes, that's what I want. Go practice more. Go, but don't practice more to practice more. Go practice more because you can be more, right? Cool. So if you want to be able to get your team that isn't the best at stunting to get better at stunting, we need to think laterally. We need to use the Aladdin method, go into a whole new world. And then you need to take two seemingly unrelated concepts and put it together, okay? Somebody said that the difference between somebody who's smart and somebody who's a genius is that a genius will be able to take something that looks like it has nothing to do with what we're talking about and make it make sense, make it correlate, right? So that's what I need you to be. I need you to be a cheer genius. How can we be a cheer genius today? Cool. So I told you about the think laterally, do the handstand up into the prep, straddle, right? Okay, so you're gonna handstand, put the flyer's hands in that load position that your bases are in. They're gonna be upside down, they can straddle their legs, do a 360. We remember that. Cool. Then I told you about swing dancers and how I love the hip, up, straddle, and then slow them down. So, I'm not saying I'm a genius, but this is what I was talking about, right? Let's put those two unrelated concepts together. Put them together in a game. It'll be super cute. Back spot, close to the field on the track. Flyer in front of the back spot, but close to the field. And then main base is over there by the crowd, closer to the crowd. Main base and side base, closer to the crowd. And so the flyer will be waving at the crowd, trying to get everybody's attention. The back spot will be waving, trying to get everybody's attention. Then they'll step, turn around. They'll start that swing dance sequence. Hip, up. As they're starting their sequence and everybody's watching that, the main base and the side base nugget walk on into that group. And then as the back spot is holding them up, they'll come down to that low load, dip, and now they're up in a prep, but the flyer is facing the wrong way. So what are we going to do? We're going to 180 it. Boop, boop, boop. The back spot can probably dip down a little bit, but she can stay in front. There's nothing wrong with staying in front. Well, actually, I don't know about Keisha rules. I don't know them. So check if the back spot can even be there. But, right, the back spot's in front. And now, guess what? Have them do a bird front dismount. So the flyer's up here. She goes up. She comes down prone. There's a back spot there to save her. And then she can roll out of it. That's cute. That's cute. And that's not hard. That's not hard at all, right? And when I say not hard, I assume that most flyers' problems is the further away we get from the floor, the harder it is for them to think about staying tight and hitting their skills. You do have to, have a handstand. You do have to be a little bit coordinated, but you have to pick your struggle, right? You have to pick your battles. So, but yeah, that's super simple. They're taking that swing dance concept with the handstand inversion concept, and then they're adding a bird front rolling out of it. First of all, if that bird front is high, I was doing back to yesterday. Hold on. Back to yesterday though. Back to yesterday. I always do high pop-offs because that's what I do. The first one I threw, everybody was like, oh my goodness, that's so high. And these are cheerleaders. These are people in the sport that know what it is, right? So if we can do a super high bird front to a crowd of people that don't know what's happening, oh wow, it's like she's flagging. That is so elegant. Oh my goodness. I didn't put this in my blog about the 4 ways to increase crowd involvement, but that's another one. Being good at being showy, having something to show. If there's people down on the track waving at me, I'm looking down there to see what they're waving about. If then I see 2 people on the track swing dancing, I'm looking at them like, what's happening? Then if I look up and then I look down and they're turning, they're turning? That's a really neat idea. She's flying? Wow, this team is amazing. I want to watch more of that, right? So the 5th way to get more crowd involvement is to show them something. That was a theme the other day with my choreography. Show me something. I want to see it. So think laterally, go into a whole new world, and then take 2 unrelated ideas and concepts and put them together. Or take 2 things that you have that are good and then put them together. Like Bajas. Everybody loves a Baja. I've never seen a high school team that didn't love a Baja, right? And so if you don't know what a Baja is, it's the flyer goes in like a regular prep, but instead of having hands on shoulders, she grabs the back spot's hands, they dip, the flyer goes up, and then she forward rolls. Cute, simple. What I would do, because I'm extra, I think I want to call this a Baja Blast. If this actually has a name, please tell me, right? But back here, the flyer, the back spot, would grab like this. So then she's going to push up and then twist her around 360. So then she's doing a flip and a twist. Cute. Not hard, right? Cute and not hard. That's what we're going for because we have a team that can't stunt. So we can't make it too complicated. And coaches, stop getting mad at your girls for being who they are. That's ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. Why are we getting mad at our team because they can't stunt? You think they just woke up and didn't want to be able to stunt? They want to stunt, but they can't. That's not their fault. It's just what happens. I'm not gonna tear into you, but coaches, I think it's our fault that our athletes can't stunt. But that's for another day. What we're not gonna do though is hold that over their heads like it's their fault. That's not going to help them get better. That's going to make them want to hate coming to practice because all they're going to think about is, here we go, coach is still mad at me for something that I'm trying at. I'm trying, coach. I want to be good at stunting, but I don't know how, right? Don't do that. Instead, build up their confidence by taking all these easy and simple skills and making them sex. That's literally how we became coaches, guys. That's literally how we became coaches. It wasn't because somebody told us we were terrible at cheerleading. No, it's because we walked in one day, we were good at it, and somebody told us, yo, you're really good at it, and then we kept going. We have to encourage these athletes to keep going by showing them that they are good. And the best way to do that is by telling them that they're good. And no, you don't have to say, if that was good. If you executed the Baja Blast, that was great. You are great at doing the stunts that I asked you to do. That's not lying. You're not lying, right? For the things that you are tasked to do, you're great at them. it's our job as a coach to understand what tasks to put on their plates and what tasks to take off their plates or never put to begin with. We know those teams. Okay, so sorry, but I'm gonna fight for these girls, all of them, every single one of these girls. We're gonna think laterally. That's the first step. We're gonna go into a whole new world. That's the second step. We're gonna take two unrelated concepts, skills that we already have, and put them together. That's the third step. Step number 4 is use a group to support. Use a weaker group to support a not so weak group that just needs a little bit of help. All-star athletes, all-star teams do this all the time, but I never really see it at the high school level. But the one skill that I'm thinking about the most is we have a group. Let's say they go up in the prep. Put another group right behind them up in the prep. And that flyer, group in front will be group A, group in back will be group B. So group B's flyer will just be up there holding group A's hips or hand, whatever, right? But now that flyer in the air feels so much more comfortable. And if I'm flyer B, I'm chilling. This is a prep. We can do whatever you want, right? So now she can really mess up the game. Let's mess up the game. Let's say flyer A is here. She's in her prep. This group can dip. We're in a prep. They can dip all the way down and then come back up, full release. The flyer can go up, do a beautiful toe touch because the flyer B has her hips, and then snap her feet together, and the groups catch her and bring her back down to prep. Not hard. Guess what? If they can't stunt, I'm going to imagine that they can't jump. But because they're being thrown and they're being held, that jump is still going to be cute. Still going to be cute, I promise you. Right? Not hard. She has help. Okay? So, dip. As they dip down, flyer B might lose her. Just stay down there. When she comes back up, re-grab those hips and follow her all the way up. And then hold on to her as she comes back down. Super cute. Now, the one that I really want to do, don't know if it's legal, guys. Everything I'm telling you to do is physically possible. I don't know if it's legal in your school district, in your state association. Don't ask me. I don't know that. Okay? I just know it's physically possible and it's not hard. The one I really like is extension, right? Flyer A, her group in extension. Flyer B, her group in extension. And then we're holding up there, feet together, flyer B, and they dip, and then flyer A does a side semi while holding on to flyer B's wrist. Oh, I just think that is so cute, so difficult, so eye-catching. Not difficult. The difficulty. I'm still not saying it right. What the crowd thinks, what the crowd perceives as, what? That was a flip. But she's holding on the whole time. They don't know that. Right? So like the crowd impression of difficulty is super high, but it's so easy to do. She's just going to hold here, or maybe even, you know what? Go ahead. Just do this. Flyer B. Flyer A is going to hold on to that. We're coming back around, holding on the whole time. She does a full side semi in the air. That looks beautiful. That looks incredible, right? Not hard, and she has somebody holding her so she can be confident about really going for it. Because a lot of the times, a lot of the problems, and I saw this yesterday, is flyers don't commit to the skill because they're intimidated about their safety in the air, right? Which is counterintuitive. And I don't know how to explain that to them. I'm not a flyer, but the faster you hit your skill, the easier it is for us to fix it underneath. When you start playing with it, then it gets hard, right? But it's the same thing. They're going to hit their skills so much faster because they have somebody holding on to them and they feel safe. So now the stunt's going to work even better. Okay? Let's see. That I gave you two. I gave you the both at prep, shotgun to toe touch. That's with a spot, a flyer in the air holding onto her, and then both at extension holding onto the flyer while she does a side summy. Doesn't have to be a side summy, no. We can still do a toe touch. We can do a heel stretch, right? That flyer's pulling a heel stretch and there's somebody behind her holding her. We can keep it really easy, right? We can even do a lib. Sometimes libs are challenging at extension. We can do all those things because somebody's holding on to her. And then for the dismount is a little tricky. I bring everybody back down to prep. And then I'll have group A cradle facing that direction and group B cradle facing this direction, or vice versa. But cradle going sideways instead of front to back so we don't kick each other in the head. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so we have going laterally when we're thinking about stunt development. What can we do with what we already can do? Then we have going into a whole new world, the Aladdin method, right? Looking at stunt, stunt the sport, looking at rhythmic acrobatics or acrobatic gymnastics, looking at Cirque du Soleil, looking at swing dancers. Those are all other people that do acrobatics that we can pull from, okay, that we can take, borrow, whatever you want to call it. But once you bring it to your team, you're going to have to make adjustments to make it work on your team. So it's a whole new skill anyway. Then we have use your group. Use one group to support another group, okay? And the last thing, take two unrelated skills that are simpler and put them together to make them harder, like the Baja Blast or the Baja, right? And then the last thing you can do, guys, if you want to help a team that is not good at stunting get better at doing stunts or doing different stunts, is ask for help. Yes, ask for help, guys. I'm your coach. You coach them, I coach you. Get at me. Let's set up a mentorship. Let's set up some clinics. Let's set up some private lessons. But all I want you to do is help these girls the best that you can. So I'm going to help you do that however you need. If you need to figure out how to coach flyers, I wrote a book on that. It's a really good book. If you ask me, ask a few coaches around, they loved it, right? Do you need help coaching tumbling? I have training videos from no skill at all to standing back or standing full. I have all of that, right? How to spot. I just posted a video today on how to spot a back handspring and how to spot a back tuck. Whatever you need to help your girls get better, I have it. So if you want to book a call, be a part of my mentorship group, I'm going to leave a link. If you want to get a video on jump training, I'll leave you a link. If you want just to know something, personal message me. I'll get back to you. I'm in all the cheer groups that would allow me in. So if you put it in there, I'll probably see it and I'll answer it. Guys, let me help you get the tools that you need to help the athletes that we lead succeed. And with that, I'll tell you to have a great night. I'm Coach Zo. This was the ZoShow Live. Peace.